Welcome back to the lecture series on Introduction to AWS. As part of today's session, we will be talking about Introduction to IAM. Under this, we will be majorly focusing on who is responsible for the security when we are using our AWS services. Second point, what exactly IAM is and comparison of IAM user with root user. These are the three topics which we will be covering under Introduction to IAM. Basically, who is responsible for the security of all the services? So, when it comes to security, it is a shared responsibility between customer and the cloud provider, customer as well as the cloud provider, whoever is the cloud provider, he. Coming to your customer, AWS and customer. Coming to AWS, he is responsible for security of the cloud. It means that whatever infrastructure he is providing, for that security responsibility is taken care by AWS. Whereas coming to customer, security in the cloud, security of the cloud, security in the cloud, whatever services which you are accessing, the responsibility of those service security is being taken care by the customer. Coming to your infrastructure such as hardware components, regions, availability zones, edge locations, compute, storage, database, networking and certain softwares which are being used, all the security parameters are going to be taken care by the AWS. Whereas coming to what type of data you are storing in, what type of applications you are running, how you are accessing, how you are managing the access privileges, as well as which type of operating system you are using, how you are allowing the network access to the outside or inside the region, all these things are taken care by the customer. Coming to specific thing, what AWS is responsible, such as to prevent network level protection by preventing denial of service, where services are going to be not accessible. Distributed denial of service attacks are going to be taken care by AWS. Not only that, it will thoroughly check the background of the employees who are working over there, who are working at sensitive areas, or else when there is a decommissioning of storage device happens, then physical destroying of the storage devices are going to be taken care, as well as ensuring the physical and environmental security of data centers, including the protection of security staff. Everything has been taken care, that is security of the cloud is going to be taken care by the AWS. At the same time, user's responsibility is security in the cloud. It means that whatever services S3, EC2, whatever services which you are accessing, how you are going to restrict the access, to whom you are providing the privileges, that is going to be taken care by the users itself, as well as encrypting the network traffic, such as your username, password and whatever data which you pass over the network, how you are going to provision the security, as well as whether you are using any firewalls on virtual networks, such as network level ACL permissions, such as access control lists, how you are going to maintain the incoming and outgoing traffic. At the same time, how you are protecting your data which is stored at certain storage devices, whether you are encrypting the data when it is at rest. At rest means when it is stored somewhere in an archive format, if you are taking S3, as well as managing the OS patches, how you are going to manage the upgradations in OS, how you are going to patch up the things, as well as not only that, various software entities such as the programming languages or whatever the things used for the development of applications on virtual machines are you going to take care. All these are the things which customer needs to take care of. So how these security concerns can be reduced? These security concerns can be reduced using IAM. IAM stands for identity. Identity means who is who. Authentication. Authenticating a person is the exactly the one who is been to. The next one is access, refers authorization, whether a particular person is authorized to access a particular service. So identity and access stands for two entities, authentication as well as authorization, and managing these things is the service stands for IAM. Before going with IAM service, one of the key role with IAM is, as we had seen that AWS provides more than 200 plus services, and out of these 200 services the easiest service is IAM, but very sensible service is IAM, whereas IAM is lifetime free. The only service which is provisioned from cloud for lifetime free is IAM. So what is IAM? IAM is used to set the permissions on the resources to have a proper access from users to the resources at the right time. Right person is accessing right resource at the right time. This is what the job of IAM is, and IAM allows access privileges to various computing resources or storage resources or services, database or application services, such as Beanstack is an application service. If you are going with database, RDS is a database provision from AWS. Storage, it might be S3. Compute, it might be EC2. For all these various resources, IAM may provide an access permissions you can apply. In IAM, we majorly come across with 4 terms: users, groups, policies and roles. Let us see who is a user. Now, we will see in our next upcoming slide. IAM creates and manages various AWS users. At the same time, these users may be added up to the groups, as well as they can deny the access to a particular service. Not only allowing, they may deny the access. It controls centralized as well as fine grained. If you do have 10 EC2 instances, out of that one particular EC2 instance is very sensitive, it maintains sensitive data, then you can deny the access to this EC2 from other users. That is fine grained provision of security. Coming to IAM user, if you do have an organization and this organization has various departments such as sales department, marketing department and so on. Here you had launched an EC2 instance and a database, RDS, a database RDS. Over here users are being deployed in the sales department, whereas in marketing department we do have users. Here also you had deployed certain services such as EC2 servers and RDS database. What happens over here is, this organization has deployed all these services on top of AWS. They had created an account. That account has been given a root user, and this root user privileges or credentials cannot be shared with all the users. Then what they have to do? They can create an user who is named as IAM user, and these people are going to have IAM privileges, where this IAM user will be allowed to have an access to any one or both the things. Whereas coming to the permissions, we do have two types of permissions over here. One is read only permission and the other one is full access permission. If you are going with read only permission, then they can view, just like this particular user has been given read only permission on the database. As that person has no knowledge about database, we can give only read only permission, where he can view the databases, he can check the things, he can check the status, but he cannot create the database. At the same time, if the same person is being given a full access permission on EC2, it means that he can create the EC2, he can terminate the EC2 and so on, whatever things. So full access means he has the privileges as a root user, whereas read only means he can read only, or else he cannot give a permission on S3. If no S3 permission has been given to the user, it means that he is not allowed to perform, he cannot open up S3 buckets itself. And if there are a group of users working on a particular field with similar permissions, then they can be added up in the group. Allocation of IAM users with common permissions. Then what is a policy? Whenever you are allowing read only access permission to a user, the assignment is said to be the policy. Here user is attached to a particular service through certain policy. Just like a user can access EC2 instance through a policy. User and resource can be connected through a policy, that we are going to see. IAM roles. Role is nothing but if there should be a connectivity between EC2 instance and S3 bucket, or EC2 instance and a database. Which particular EC2 can access which particular database or which particular service, such as resource to resource communication can be privileged using various roles. So these are the four key terminologies which we need to use when we are coming across IAM service. At the same time, when we are comparing IAM user and root user, then what are the differences which we find? If you are going with what is the purpose of creating a root user and what is the purpose of creating an IAM user? Root user will be created at the time when you are creating your account, whereas IAM user is created based on a particular individual or a particular entity, such as any of the resource. If you are going with access level permissions, root user, as he is the main admin user, he has unrestricted access to all the resources and everything. Whereas coming to IAM, it has its own access level permissions, which is based on permissions which are attached in the form of policies. Coming to security, root user has the highest level of risk. If root user's credentials are compromised, then everything is compromised. Whereas coming to IAM user, This provides better security than the root user. Do we need password to log in as a root user or IAM user? In both the cases it is yes. Can root user belongs to any group? No. Whereas IAM user, it can belong to any group. That's it from today's session.